and join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. And here we go.
It's no block, no rock.
Sorry, buddy.
Why would you do that?
Go Big Red indeed. Hey, I got a plan. Don't worry. No block, no rock. Yeah, always. Season 5, episode 22.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna run this by you. I'm running it by Mike because I feel like he's the one that would die on the hill.
Oh boy.
I don't want to do the season 5 episode blah blah thing anymore.
You don't
Too
have
bad.
Is that okay?
Too
You
bad.
don't have to.
Well, Connor says too bad. So who do I go with? Kyle, you're the tiebreaker. Do you care?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Shit.
Maybe we just got to find out like how many total episodes we've done, and then we just go with that. Like episode 980.
We could.
Because
Yeah,
that's probably where we're at.
I am very curious just how many episodes we've done in 4 years.
I'll have to go on the Spotify and
Yeah.
just freaking count them.
There's got to be like an export or something where we can see like the
Mike.
total number of data and everything.
Mike's gonna go to Chat GPT tonight.
Yeah.
Just ask Chat GPT.
How many
Oh,
NBNR
yeah.
episodes have there been? Okay, before Mike Googles that, I got my Nebraska Brewing Company beer that I stole from Mike.
Say, is that your beer?
I'll take a sip.
Wow.
Just a little one. Hefeweizen. I'm trying to cut back on the beer, but damn it, I just took a taste of this hef and shit.
Is it?
I think I'm back on the wagon.
Is it?
Or
Or
off
off
the
the
wagon.
fat? Because you could drink whole milk if you wanted to.
Listen, I don't want to say anything bad about your beers and how these beers definitely don't make you fat. No, these are healthy for you.
Asterisk.
Be healthy. Drink Nebraska Brewing Company. So go to Hy-Vee and get you a Hefeweizen or their tap room.
Yeah.
Mike, what beer you got?
Well, I was drinking the EOS Hefeweizen, and after that smooth handoff, it's the
you.
best beer they have at Nebraska Brewing Company. And yeah, that our fridge is kind of dwindling on options. So
Connor.
We'll get a refill.
yeah, I think we're gonna
We
have to restock. So I went with the EOS again, and yeah, it's fine. That's good.
Damn,
That's fine.
we're really killing it.
Yeah, we're
tonight.
selling. It's
You-
beer.
You know the NBC family is sitting at home watching this, like, oh hell yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Great segment, guys.
Paul and Kim are just thrilled with
I mean,
what we're doing here.
we talked about EOS. You talked about EOS. I don't have to say anything else about it, right?
Yeah.
Besides-
And guess what?
Guess not.
Kyle's drinking EOS.
Yeah. What do you got to say about it, Kyle?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's
More than
good
Mike.
beer. If you're watching this and you've never had Nebraska Brewing Company beer, go to the tap room on 108th and Harrison, La Vista, Nebraska.
Boom.
Go in there, tell you that you got sent by NBNR. They'll probably give you a hug, maybe a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, a little kiss.
And then they're going to give you all the options on the tap handles. You're going to choose EOS because it's the best one.
I actually had, and forgive me, I know you were only in a couple of days ago. You told me that you listened to every episode. We talked for a lot about the MLB Hall of Fame. But thank you for coming in. That was really cool. And I know we didn't get to talk very long, but thank you. We do love when NBNR listeners come into the brewery. It's really fun. You will always find me there. These guys are in relatively often. We do events there somewhat frequently. So be on the lookout. We do stuff there all the time. On that note, I am drinking Pilsner today because Mike was kind enough to remind me
I
that
did
we
let
were
you know.
we were out in the fridge, but I have really cool news for you guys. So we talked about next week, the 20th, we are actually off. Mike is too rich for us and is taking a vacation. So we will be off the 20th, enjoy the national championship game. But when we come back on the 27th, you know what's going to be in that fridge?
What?
A coffee stout.
Let's
Oh!
go!
What's the name of it?
It is called Stories from Nebraska. It was a collaboration with Wine, Beer, and Spirits. The beers are us is what a lot of people refer to it, and Stories Coffee. And I will tell you that beer is out of this world, and I'm going to make sure that some of that gets put in this fridge because you guys have annoyed me for years about making a coffee stout. So I'm going to make sure some of that gets in this studio.
I mean, 11 a.m. kickoff would have been a cool name. It still can happen. But I am so happy that the brewery is making this jump into the coffee stout game.
So here's the trick.
Uh-oh.
Stories from Nebraska. You can get it in the tap room right now.
Okay.
It is under a different name in the tap room just because the full release has not gone through yet.
It's like
We
a
were still-
speakeasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to the tap room,
Got
it is
that
called
coffee.
Coffee Mama. But Stories from Nebraska is kind of a one-off beer. So if you want to get this beer in cans, again, it is phenomenal. I know
Limited
you guys
edition.
are going to love it. You need to get it when it comes out. It gets shipped out to our distributor on the 16th. So you'll probably be able to find it in stores around the 20th. So be on the lookout for that. You'll see these guys drink it. Hell, I'm going to drink it on air because it's so dang good. But be on the lookout for it.
Oh, man. Well, you can celebrate your January 20th, your national championship, all those things going on January 20th with a Stories Coffee Stout from Nebraska Brewing Company.
I'm sure your family has been, thinking about getting a coffee stout for a very long time, for like 20 years or whatever.
No,
But
like
I
2.5 since you guys wouldn't shut up about it.
Let's go.
I was gonna say we're still gonna take credit for this
Yeah.
coffee stout. So
Yeah.
and we should get royalties.
Paul,
We should get royalties.
Paul,
Yeah.
I guarantee Paul is streaming this to one of his TVs right now and he's flipping the TV off.
It's like, yeah, eat shit.
hey, Paul, you ever seen the movie Goodfellas? Fuck you, pay me. I'm just kidding, Paul.
Nebraska Brewing Company.
World class.
In every glass.
All right, guys.
And before we get moving with the actual Husker talk, let's talk a little bit about our friends at Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't done so already, there is lots of good playoff football on in the NFL right now. And if you want to support the podcast, you can do that by using the promo code NBNR. It's very simple. You download the app called Underdog Fantasy. You put in your information. All you have to do is put $10 in there. Throw $10 around. You can get up to $1,000 in bonus bets. And you're doing that. If you use that promo code, you are supporting the podcast. They will give us a little kickback for getting you to sign up, and you could win a lot of money. I did for a little bit. I have not put any more money in since, but that's me. I'm not a lucky person. I don't gamble.
can I real quick just run through my 6-pick?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got my 6-pick play?
Yeah, he's got a 6-pick
Okay.
play.
Justin Jefferson, 1 touchdown. Matthew Stafford, over 242 yards. Kyron Williams, 1 touchdown. Jordan Addison, 4.5 receptions, over that. Will Reichard,
Yeah.
Minnesota's kicker.
The other kicker.
Yeah. Over 1.5 field goals made.
Ooh.
And Aaron Jones, over 83.5 rushing yards.
So what is that?
Or
So
rushing
what are you
and receiving
betting? And
yards.
what's the payout?
Yeah,
on
what's
that?
your wager to win there?
I put $5 on it, and if I hit 6 of 6, it's $65 payout. If I hit 5 of 6, it's $8.75, and if I only hit 4 of 6, it's $2. So at least I only lost 3 at that point.
So
That's not bad.
I think that's probably one of the most fun things about Underdog is the fact that when you parlay these picks, you don't have to hit all of them.
Yeah,
Like, there are tiers to how you get paid out.
Yeah, and you know what? Pretty regularly, I don't hit enough to get anything. So
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
that's just me, though.
I know I asked Mike before the episode started, but it is my favorite segment. 34-cent Mike Delaware.
Still there.
Still there.
I
still there.
had an itch. I was like, hey, I'm going to put $10 in there and bet on the playoff games this past weekend, the Saturday, Sunday slate. I would have gotten roasted just on the bets that I wanted to make. I would have not hit any of them. But I'm telling you, our listeners, you guys are way luckier than I am. Use the promo code NBNR. Make sure you guys go follow Underdog Fantasy. Download the app. Follow us. Let's kick off the show.
Yeah, just because Mike sucks at it doesn't mean you're
Probably way
Suck.
better than me.
Yeah.
I'm just not lucky.
So do we
Or knowledgeable.
That's a fine line,
Yeah.
Kyle Byers.
do we want to start with the elephant in the room?
Yeah,
Sitting at this
you
table.
go ahead and hold it up if you'd like.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to have a guest.
Yeah, today we were going to have, and I hope he's watching right now, Nick Hanley, who's a friend of the show, great guy, and incredibly knowledgeable. And yesterday was his birthday. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He is 28 years old now.
Of course.
But we decided because he is a friend of the show, and today would have been his three-peat, his third time on the show. Nick, I hope you see this.
We got Nick.
Yeah, Connor spent his hard-earned money on this.
He got
Beautiful
Nick a cake that says happy three-peat for your birthday / third time on NBNR. But guess what? We're going to put this cake in the freezer until he shows up for his third
Hell
time.
no, I'm eating it. Hell no,
I
Nick.
bought it. I'm eating it.
It's like when
Yeah.
you get married and you like freeze your part of your cake so you guys can eat it a year later. We're going to put it in the freezer, and that when Nick shows up, he's going to eat it right on camera.
Yeah,
So
it started as vanilla. It might be chocolate.
Yeah.
No, I'm eating that cake.
yes.
We love you, Nick. I understand he had some family stuff going on. We totally get it. But that does mean you don't get a slice of your own cake.
Yeah. So, ha.
Yeah, gotcha, dork. Oh, look at me. I'm a good dad.
Look at me. I'm here for my kids. Oh, cool, dude. Nice. Cool for you, bro. No, but let's move on from the happiness celebration that a cake would usually call for, because that's not what the start of this episode's going to be. Because we're talking Nebrasketball, and
Right away.
yeah, dude, we're getting the pain over with. The Boilers put belt to ass. And they won 104-60, whatever the fuck. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
even.
I didn't even watch 10 minutes of the game.
19 3-pointers. They set a record against how many 3-pointers we've ever allowed as a program.
So I don't like the metaphor belt to ass on this game, because typically you think like belt to ass, it's like you're getting spanked, right?
Yeah.
No, they put belt in ass.
Yeah.
Like,
In.
straight up there.
with
I mean-
no other like loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think my only comment on the entire game was after it ended. I just texted you guys, said, well, at least it was close. We stayed within 50.
Jeez.
It was an absolute ass whipping. And I got a couple of texts, which I feel are very genuine. Like, it's a good question, is because Purdue is ranked 20 at this point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Does this show that Nebraska doesn't deserve to be in the top 25?
Duh.
Because I think it is. I think Purdue is underranked currently, but I mean, with Purdue being at 20 and just getting your ass whooped, it shows that they'll win some of those good games. Like getting UCLA at 15 was great. I don't think it's something they can do consistently.
Well, again, where did they play? UCLA.
They played at home.
And look, winning on the road is hard. It looks bad. It felt bad.
It sucked.
Okay, so I lasted like 10 minutes. Did you guys watch the whole
I
freaking
watched the
thing?
entire thing.
I watched like 5 minutes.
My wife asked me, she said, why are you still watching this? I said, don't you know me? I love the pain. I'm just like, every time they kept just jacking up threes, even contested, it just went in.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course.
Reverse ollie oops. They were just kept
It was
going in.
just-
Oh, and
it was insane. It's funny. I saw a tweet out there. James, whatever his name is, put a tweet out there, and he's like, after these many games, it makes you really wonder how this Nebrasketball team would be if they had ranked mask. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
dude, they did the exact same thing last season with ranked mask. Like, what are you talking about? This team, for some reason, when you get them out of their home arena, they are a whole different basketball team. And it started after that little dink 3-pointer against Iowa. And all of a sudden, the floodgates opened. And they didn't just open. Like, this team is like 10 feet underwater right now because of a freaking dink dunk 3-pointer.
Is this not the same discussion that I feel like we had around this same time last year?
Yes, it's the same thing.
It is.
When you hit the road, mental midgets. I mean,
Okay.
when they're at home, they're giants. I mean, they play well, they play aggressive, they get on the road, and they play scared.
It's a home versus road discussion. Okay. Winning on the road is a tough thing. Okay. Just ask opponents that come to PBA and play. It's hard winning on the road in the Big Ten. So like I was saying earlier, like, yeah, it looks bad. Is this going to kill the resume? No. But it makes those home games that you play that much more important. You have Rutgers on Thursday. This is a must-win game. It is. Like, I know we're only in January, but this is one of those games that, okay, you know what? If you're going to lose every fucking road game, and in that fashion, let alone, you have to win all your home games then. Right. I mean, you did it last year, and you got in the tournament, and
yeah,
cool, right? But like, Rutgers on Thursday is a must-win game to where if they don't win this game against Rutgers, I don't know about your tourney chances.
So
I mean, I told you guys, like, the only 2 games I've like listened to, I usually watch them when I can, when it's not like on BTN Plus or, Peacock or something stupid, right? I've listened to 2 games while I've been like working on my house, and both of them were Michigan State and then this weekend. And I'm like,
are you bad luck?
I don't know.
Stop listening to games.
I just think I get concerned when, like, you never see Nebraska winning 104-60 at home. Sure, they win at home. Sure.
Yeah.
But it's like you're never winning in those type of margins. I know it's hard to win on the road, but like those teams coming into PBA aren't losing by 40 points.
No.
And
True.
then you see Nebraska lose to Michigan State like they did, and then they lose to Iowa the way that they did, and now they lose to Purdue the way that they did, and it's like, dude, what is going on?
It's the Jekyll and Hyde thing. We talked about this last year, almost to a T, about the same time. I don't know what happens between the ears with these players. Like,
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's 100% mental.
Yeah.
Juwan Gary is a whole different guy when he's outside of PBA. The shooting confidence is not there. And like it's already tough because this team does not have an offensive identity. They hang their hat on defense.
Yeah.
And when that defense is giving up the open shots like they have been, and they're having the mental errors that they're having, not getting back and not getting to the open shooters, like, then it causes a lot of problems because your offense already can't bail them out. You don't have Casey Tominaga walking through that door. And when Connor Essien, there's a lid on the rim right now for him too. So like between that and then when your best player, Bryce Williams, can't score, it's a recipe for disaster.
There's a lot of times when you're watching a Nebraska game and you're like, point out the scorer on the floor right now.
It's bad.
It's very hard to do that. Now, look, I'm one of those guys that appreciates the new Fred Hoiberg identity to where he emphasizes defense. And like Hoiberg's like the ultimate offensive guy. Like you would think he'd be able to chalk these freaking offensive plays because he's like a genius at it, which makes me appreciate the flip to the defensive identity just even more. So it's like, yeah, it's dang, who's the scorer? Like Essien, like he's a good shooter, okay?
Yeah.
But damn it. Hot and cold.
Yep.
Bryce Williams, sometimes like I hate to throw the word soft around, but the moment the defender shows any pulse, he kind of goes, oh man, it's just one of those days. And like Juwan Gary, like, yeah, you're open, dude.
They're leaving you open.
Why?
They're
Why are you
leaving
open?
you wide open.
Like Juwan Gary's one of those dudes where it's like, no. Oh, you made it. Or it's no. Fuck.
Off the side of the backboard. Dude, so he airballed his first shot of the day against Purdue.
Yeah.
And then one of his 3-pointers was off the side of the backboard.
Like you can't do sure, you're maybe not a good shooter, but you can't do that, right?
I wouldn't hit the side of the backboard. I'm telling you, like
I know. And look, we make a lot of Nebraska winning 20 in a row at PBA. Purdue, you guys know how many games they've won?
A lot of games in a row.
This was their 26th in a row.
Yes.
So like we make a big deal out of PBA, rightfully so, but Purdue even more at Mackey. So you can see you're itching. Yeah.
Can I give you 2 bright spots? Not about this game.
Are you going to stretch? This is going to be a stretch.
No. I think they're 2 very clear comments. One, before the Purdue game, I haven't seen the updated rankings yet. In Ken Palm rankings, the only ranking I give a shit about, Nebraska was at 35 prior to Purdue. I mean, that's probably going to come down a little bit. But that's still a very solid ranking to have a chance to at least get to March.
Oh, yeah.
What that means, I'm not going to be the guy that sit here and says this is the year. I think everyone needs to calm the fuck down. Let's get there first. Let's get there first. The second part of it is Nebraska is in a position where this month from today, the next 30 days are pretty much all that matter in basketball. But you have to have a record that makes it matter, and Nebraska has that right now. So you say Rutgers on Thursday is a must win.
Yeah, I do. I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to die on that hill.
Yeah, no, I agree. The next 30 days,
yeah,
must wins. This is the month that matters. These 30 days are what matter. You have to go win these games, at least most of them, and then you have to have an okay run. If not, they're probably not going to win the Big Ten. Let's be honest.
No,
but you have to
they're not.
have some wins inside that tournament if you want to make it to March.
They essentially have to do exactly what they did last year.
Mhm.
Yes.
Run the table at home and sneak out one on the road. Because that's what they did. Last year, they won all the games at home, and they snuck out one on the road.
Yeah, I think it was one.
Yeah, like Maryland or something. I don't remember what it was. But
No, they got blasted at Maryland. I remember that
yeah, I
game.
remember I was in. Yeah.
But like you're playing Northwestern on the road, so like
You should get one.
should win,
Yeah.
should. And like you're just it's tough to win on the road.
Can I?
Like how do you have a team that's won 26 in a row and also 20? It's just like, yeah, winning on the road is hard. So yeah, all these home games that you play, you have to win them.
I want to point out, you just said like Northwestern is a should win game on the road. Guys, we cover Nebraska athletics.
Yeah.
How many times have we said should win and it hasn't happened?
Bowie. Is Bowie still there?
Probably.
Probably.
We were up. Like, let's take a step back.
Come
Like,
on.
this is the definition of a
Teammates.
game that beats you twice. And Jared, you asked me, do you think that we're going to beat Iowa? Or it was like, absolutely not. And then we leave the studio. We had Cootie on. If you haven't checked that episode, make sure you guys go check it out. It was awesome. We leave this episode. I get home. Nebraska goes up 15 on Iowa at one point. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
This is that team. Like, they're good. And they let Iowa scrap and claw. And as they were doing it, they were scrapping and clawing at their just mentals. And now their mentals are mush. So I'm hoping Thursday against Rutgers is an opportunity to get their heads right, see some shots go in. PBA is going to have to do their job like they always do. And if they can get a win at home against Rutgers, I think it will hopefully set them up for another opportunity on the road.
And like giving up that 15-point lead.
It's just so annoying to Iowa.
You know, and I forget that dweeb's name. Just fucking made everything in the second half. And if they would have just pulled out that dub, like, would I even care about this Purdue beatdown?
Wouldn't even care.
Yeah, you would. You're a liar if you're telling yourself.
No.
Like if they wouldn't have given up that 15-point lead and actually won on the road versus the Fuckeyes, I wouldn't even.
That's a
honestly,
lie.
I don't know.
We would have entered this episode the same damn way. I guarantee you we would.
Back to back. We're entering this episode with back-to-back road losses.
Yeah.
Knowing how hard it is to win on the road, and Iowa's another place that they just don't fucking lose there.
Sure.
I would have forgiven. I sincerely believe I would not be nearly as heated.
You're telling me like Nebraska gets that 15-point lead. And let's say it still goes to overtime. Nebraska wins by 2.
Yeah.
And then we get blown out by 40 or whatever it was by Purdue.
Mhm.
You're telling me that you're coming in any sort of a positive light.
Well, it's
right now,
it's kind of a
that's
chick.
bullshit, and
Well,
you know it.
Fuck you. It's kind of it's kind of a chicken and egg thing, right? Because if they would have won against Iowa, would they have lost by 40 to Purdue?
No, they wouldn't
probably
have.
not.
No,
I mean,
they
who
let
knows,
that
right?
game
But-
beat them twice.
Yeah.
And I just hope that it doesn't linger further, because you could just tell just looking at the team that they were checked out the entire game. Though I tweeted, I think the game was like 5-2 or something, and I was like, this is gonna get ugly. This doesn't look good.
Right. Just in.
You could just tell they got off the bus. They were asleep the entire time. It just did not good. It didn't look good from the start, and it got worse and worse and worse. Like,
Snowball.
you hope that this team can get things right at home against Rutgers on Thursday.
Is it me, or has that been kind of the story of the season where you can tell the games where that team is awake? Like just in the first 5 minutes, you can tell how they're going to perform. It's felt like that all season.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, if you watch this team, you know when they're clicking, when the ball's actually moving. Like when it gets stuck and it's just back and forth, like you can tell. And
Or you hand the ball off in the corner
Yeah.
multiple times, and it's like,
What are you doing?
What's that? What's the whole purpose of this?
well, and like, yeah, because you say like Fred is an offensive guy, and this team has a defensive identity. But if it has a defensive identity, you still have Fred Hoiberg as your coach. So why are we not like? Why is the ball getting stuck? Why is our point guard not distributing the ball properly? Like, there's just times where you're like, God, that just doesn't look right.
Mhm.
And the last 2 games, that we'll say half of the Iowa game, the second half,
Yeah.
And I mean, we could talk about Iowa, that bullshit with the
Double
dribble thing where we get the ball with an opportunity to go win the game, but instead, and then the BS, we make the 3 to tie it or whatever. But regardless, it's just one of those things. Nebraska let that game beat them twice. And I'm hoping going back to PBA will refresh everything.
I mean, I don't know. Is there a correlation between Michigan State and Purdue?
Yeah, both on the road.
I mean, yeah,
and they're both very good teams.
They're both
like in their own right.
They're both good teams. Yeah, it's both on the road, but like it looked like they were playing like a high school team.
Well, yeah.
I mean, in both of those games. Mm-hmm. So what happens? And I know you guys are talking about like March and all this other stuff, but like what happens when you get to that? If you get to that first game, like you're going to be on the road, and what happens then?
Yeah, imagine.
Like, is this going to happen again?
I mean, in the Big Ten tournament last year, neutral site and all that, they went on a pretty good run.
Yeah, they did okay.
But imagine you find yourself in, I'm spitballing here, in Memphis playing like Texas A&M.
Jesus.
Like, what happens then? I'm joking. That's last year.
What happens then? You lose.
You guys remember?
I mean, you could argue, though, that Nebraska shouldn't have ever been seeded where they were, and they shouldn't have had to play Texas A&M.
I agree.
Terrible matchup.
I agree.
So it was a bad matchup for Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
But
parity.
If we look at like Texas A&M last year was, frankly, their 3-point shooting in that game was marvelous. Like out of the world, like they were never shooting like that during the regular season.
Right.
But I think another part of the common factor that Kyle was bringing up about Michigan State and Purdue is when Nebraska gets outsized, things fall apart. Michigan State certainly outsized us. It wasn't even close.
I mean, what do you mean by outside?
I mean, at Purdue, they started they put all the bigs out to start.
Yeah, I know. But like Michigan State, their team was taller and bigger. Like we got our asses beat.
Nobody's really taller and bigger than Nebraska now. We've got we've got Maya, who's freaking 6'2" or 7'2", and
you say 6'2".
I don't know.
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, no,
that's huge.
7'2", and then you've got.
We got to have a conversation about Mia, but go on, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, we've got bigs. This is the tallest team Fred's ever had. So I don't think it's that. It's the teams, the common denominator between Michigan State and Purdue is that they look like they couldn't miss. They were open shots, contested shots. They were making everything.
So Connor, I'm going to say this. Whenever I see an opponent that has like a 6'10" big, I am actually less concerned.
No.
Are you going to talk about mobility?
No, I'm going to talk about how the identity of this defense is don't allow anything in the paint, right? Let the team shoot. And look, that's going to bite you in the ass.
And it has.
So like whenever I see a big, I'm like, all right, well that's a great matchup for Nebrasketball because that's what their defense is designed to put a lid on.
Right. Like if your offense depends on a Ryan Kalkbrenner to score you 20 points a game. Yeah, Nebraska can shut that down.
They make Kalkbrenner look like a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And Creighton, did they make a lot of shots in their loss?
No. But they had a lot of opportunities.
UCLA had a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, they kept
missed. So yeah, like you're going to run into the fucking buzzsaws like this.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with you, Jared. I think the games that we lose, it's not the big. I would much rather have Kalkbrenner running in to PBA or any of these guys than having all the white shooters that they have at Iowa.
Hey, listen, Nebraska beat Purdue, and I know it was one time, but they had Zach Edey.
Yeah.
Like
their
the
offense,
ultimate big.
Yeah, their offense revolved around him.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure Nebraska beat Illinois when they had freaking what's his name? The really good big that they had from like Cameroon or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that take. That's probably the best, most clear take that I've heard about the whole situation.
Okay.
And talking about Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska and their identity on defense and stuff.
Yeah.
I've just never thought about it. So that was brilliant.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I might have a piece of cake.
Real quick, the BA Coaches Show.
What up, BA?
Drops in with a quick 20. Appreciate you, sir.
Oh, baby.
Shout out, BA.
Oh,
He
BA.
says, here to fund Mike's gambling fund since I had a very good weekend winning money. Remember, kids, it's only a gambling problem if you lose.
Yeah, so Mike has a gambling problem.
Yeah. BA with the public service announcement.
Very nice. He must have. He didn't bet on his squealers this weekend.
No. And Joseph Doherty. I'm sorry. How do you say your
Doherty?
name? Can you like spell it out for
Is
me?
it
Doherty.
D-A-U-G? Is that how it starts?
Doherty. Doherty.
Oh, that's going to be Doherty.
Okay. He says Husker wrestling. And this is a topic he brings up in the chat pretty much every week. But Connor was just talking about Saturday?
Friday.
He was just talking about Friday. I know Connor's going to the wrestling match. So if you want to just touch base on that quick.
So this week, we just upset Minnesota. I know you guys are big Nebraska wrestling fans. You talk about it all the time.
I got my onesie on right now.
Yeah, but number 9 Nebraska upsets number 6 Minnesota. It was 21-13. It was honestly a great duel. But we do have Penn State this Friday. I will be there. I'll be Matt's side, which is going to be great. I'm trying to convince these 3 goobers to come with me. But if you're going to that duel, my man Doherty, what was his first name?
Yeah. So it's Joseph, and he spelled it out for me, Doherty. So
Doherty. Joseph, if you are going to that duel, look for me. I'll probably honestly be wearing my NBNR football jersey, just so like you can see me very easily. And I will be Matt's side. It's gonna be great. I'm very excited because this Penn State duel is, I think, going to be season defining. If you can beat Penn State,
I mean, Jesus.
Well, you'd hope, right?
That's program. That's fucking everything.
Yeah. So Nebraska wrestling. We were at 4 for a few weeks there. We went down to 9, but after that upset against Minnesota, we're going to move back up, hopefully to probably around number 7, maybe at its highest number 5. But it'll be great. So if you're going to be there, please look for me.
Matt side.
He says, he's a season ticket holder, so he will be there.
Ooh,
absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, please. Like, I'll look for you. Wave to me, and
look for the creepy guy, Matt side.
I'll be the guy that looks like me.
Yeah.
Snapping some seriously suspicious photos, man.
He's making content for the pod, all right?
Yeah.
He's not saving those photos on his phone and hiding them in a folder.
No.
Oh, God.
Incognito mode.
All right.
I know all about that.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Mike. Kofi Coburn.
Yeah,
that was the guy.
Yeah.
I felt like that guy was there
Cockburn.
forever. He was there forever.
Just a little bit more on Nebrasketball. Like, I know I kind of insinuated that Bryce Williams is soft, and like, how do I walk that back without walking it back?
Just walk it back because that's not true. I mean, he literally went up for 28 against Iowa.
See, and that's the thing.
And he was the dude.
That's the thing.
Like, and he had to hit the shot to go to overtime. Like, he was the dude. So, like, I didn't really agree with you on that. I just think there's moments where, like, when we have to run the offense through him at all times and we need him to score and they're double teaming him, nobody else can help him. I think that's an issue. And then, like, if you watch the Purdue game, he was jacking up shots that just weren't his shot. So
yeah,
I would say you could walk it back and say he's not soft. He's our best player by far. And he's the only true scorer on the team. But it's one of those things where it's like, if they lock him in, nobody else, the supporting cast was not there this weekend. They have been there in the past. I mean, like when we watched UCLA, I mean, he was kind of, I mean, he played well, but like he didn't shoot that well on the floor. Most of the stuff came from the free throw line, but other guys bailed him out.
And that's the other thing too, is like in these wins, like against UCLA, Nebraska played, or they shot very well from the free throw line.
Yeah,
they were ass versus Iowa.
Terrible. The worst of the season.
Purdue's not even worth really talking about at all. Like offensively, there's nothing there.
You just burn that. Move on.
I know. And like, there's a part of me. It's like, do you start Sammy Hoiberg on road games?
I bet he will.
Like, do you do that? Just so there's a freaking spark at the beginning of games.
But you know what? Like, people can say, well, it's the coach's son and he's getting the nod. No, like, honestly, he was the only player on the court against Purdue that had any sort of life, that was doing anything offensively and defensively. He had multiple steals.
Yeah.
He actually has been making threes the last couple games, which is just shocking to me. Because
I forget who we had in here, but we were talking about Sam Hoiberg, like needing to.
He has to hit.
He needs to help on offense too, not just defense.
Yeah. And he's starting to do that, which is odd. I mean, the guy's like 6'1". I mean, we hung out with his family down at in Memphis for the tournament game, and his brother looks identical. It's always funny
I
seeing.
thought it was him. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
you should be warming up.
Like, why is Sam Hoiberg in this bar with us right now?
Why is he drinking?
Have you guys seen too where like they pan the camera off and it's usually
Yes.
like his family and it
He's
looks
sitting-
like Sam's in the stands? But it's hilarious. But no, I'm with you. I think that if they were to give Sam the nod at this, I think it says something to the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you need to play defense. You have to play both sides of the ball, and you got to have some energy.
But only road games. So that's the only time you'll start, Sam, is road games because, home games, our guys are fine at home,
Yeah, we've got energy.
apparently. But yeah,
It's funny that last year at this exact time, we were talking about Sam Hoiberg for one reason. He was the pest.
Yep.
He was the gym rat,
we love the
the
pests.
lunch pail guy,
First in, last out.
coach's son.
White.
Yeah. But we harped, not in a bad way, but we constantly talked about, we need you to be a pest on defense. And I think it says something about, the absence of Casey, that now we're looking at Sam Hoiberg and it's like, hey, we still need you to be that same pest you've been for the last 12 months, but we need a little bit more out of you on offense.
Yeah, because out of everybody on the floor, like, with all due respect to Juwan Gary, like he's an energy guy,
And he's a defensive guy.
most of the time. But there are moments where it's like, bro, where you at?
Right.
And same with Bryce, like offensively, he's usually gonna be effective in some way. But then there are times where it's like, bro, where you at? With Sam, it's like, there he is. Look, he's hustling. He's diving into the stands. He's, getting his knees are all skinned up because he's all over the floor. He's just one of those dudes that you never doubt. And yeah, he's the prototypical, coach's son, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
White.
I mean, it doesn't help
Yeah,
either
like
that
I
he's
guess-
vertically challenged too. Like he has to.
He has heart,
He
man.
has to have his heart has to be bigger than him because he's not a big guy on the court.
So I don't know. It's just, oh God, what? What are you
Nothing.
pointing
Go
at?
ahead.
You're doing something crazy. It's just, I don't know. Do you start Sam on the road? I don't know. Or does that seem like a desperate move?
Kyle is pointing at the cake.
Do you want
Are
some?
you
Do we need to
pointing
take
at
a
the
break?
I want the cake.
Right now,
Jesus,
in the
man.
middle of the episode. Oh no!
Hold on. You guys keep talking. Kyle needs his cake.
Fucking fatty.
I'm going to
Yeah.
get him some cake.
Okay, you got us some cake. Okay,
Anything else about
No,
Nebrasketball?
let's close the door on basketball.
Okay.
I think we're kind of going in circles a little bit. I think this team will be okay. We went through this last year. I think this team will be okay. Now, Connor is most definitely in one of these camera angles right now, getting Kyle cake. But let's talk a little football.
All right. Well, football. Like right now, the main topic of du jour, if you will, are the transfers. Okay.
Yep.
Now, should we take a break?
No,
Can we
it's
handle
fine.
this?
No,
Can we
it's fine.
handle this?
It's fine.
Like
It's
grown
fine.
adults.
doing great.
This isn't our first
We
rodeo
should be
here.
doing it not on camera, but it's fine. It's fine.
look at
Okay.
Oh,
he's
that
back.
looks really moist.
beauty.
Look at that moist
Wow.
cake.
Wow.
Kyle, show that off for the camera, please.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna chew that cake right in the camera.
It's like too bright because it's a vanilla white cake.
Is the camera on you right now?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay.
Just
So-
making sure. Just making sure.
Yeah,
Transfer portal.
It should be. Okay, so transfer portal. I look at the fucking roster. Guess how many defensive backs I have now?
35.
It's 30. It's 30.
Okay, it's 30.
It's very clear to me that, John Bettler, he had a few months with this team being a defensive coordinator, helping with the defensive backs. And it's just very, very interesting that he goes out and says, I need a whole new room. I need not these guys. But at the same time, you hear rumblings about Deshaun Singleton coming back.
Yep.
There's a part of me that's like, yeah, cool, veteran guy. But the other part is like, you can go if you want. You can go.
It's okay.
It's like there's other. We'll be okay.
Deshaun's pretty good though. I think he'd
Nothing
be fine.
against him. Nothing against him.
And especially with that room, like as far as returning starters go, like you've got Little Malcolm,
Little Malcolm.
you've got Sierra Wright,
Little Malcolm.
and then that's it. Like
Yeah.
I mean, if you have Deshaun Singleton coming back, it does help that DB room, and you do have some veteran presence. But sticking with DBs, and this is something I heard a friend of the show, Tim Verghese, he talked a little bit about this. It sounds like Nebraska, and not only DBs, but I think wide receivers as well, they're going to operate with the assumption that they're going to bring in a lot of guys, and then after the spring, see you later. They're operating like the NFL now, where it's going to be an open competition in the spring to see who makes the 105. And you're going to say, hey, I appreciate you coming in here. I know it was a short time and you transferred in, but it's not going to be a good fit. So I just think right now, the way college football is, they're operating it just like the NFL, where it's like, hey, we're going to cut you. We're going to bring in guys to see who's better. And if the guys that are here now are better than the ones we're bringing in, then the guys that are coming in are going to be gone.
It's very clear that with all these additions that you've made to the defensive backs room, into the wide receiver room, like the talent, I feel like even though we have not seen a lot of these guys play in a Husker uniform yet, let's make that very clear. The talent, I feel like it's safe to say, has definitely upgraded.
Yeah.
Just overall, like depth-wise.
Very true.
Well, so
but now it's just a question of the cream rising to the top.
Or in the middle of the cake.
You know what I mean?
So
that's why I looked at cream.
I know a lot of people, including me, want, the guys that have been here to be able to remain at Nebraska. But as fans and as a program, when you do, like, you can't eat your cake and have it too. I was.
Were you looking at Kyle when you said that?
Yeah, I was. But no, like we all want them to stay here. But again, there has been a massive. Oh,
continue.
Okay. There has been a pretty good upgrade at talent. So we're gonna see those guys that we've loved to watch that have been wearing the N for at least a year.
6 years.
Yeah,
7.
some of them. You're gonna see them go. And you'll see some guys, like you said, that have like just got here and just aren't gonna make that 105.
Shift your mindset. I think all the college football loyalists, they're like, no, I love watching the guy develop in the 4 years and then finally get to start his junior year and senior year.
Yeah, get over it. It's gone.
Guess what? Let's put another cap on. This is like your NFL cap, where this is free agency right now, and you want to go get the best available guys. And I know you weren't winning with the guys that are on the team now, so let's go get other guys to replace them. So that's the mindset you have to have now.
Yeah,
I'll love the new guys if they play really good.
Oh God,
and I'll totally forget the names of the old guys, so I don't care.
I don't know if you guys have seen. There's been a large narrative coming primarily from like somewhere in the southeast of the United States. I was like, the two teams in the national championship paid a ton of money for their roster. That's why they're winning. Would you guys give a shit if we paid a ton of money for a roster and we were competing for a natty? I will learn. So you guys know this, and if anybody's listening and they've heard me talk about basketball, they probably understand that I'm a Duke basketball fan. Duke, yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Duke. That's fine. Every year for that team, I learn a new roster.
Yeah.
And every year they compete at a high level. I'm willing to do that every year for Nebraska football. I don't care. I don't care. Win games. I don't care what we pay. I don't care who it is. Win games.
It ain't my money. I don't care.
Turn and burn, baby. There's no more loyalty is for the birds, bruh. Nobody cares about loyalty anymore. Players aren't loyal. And coaches, look,
they ain't loyal either.
Coaches need to win games because if they don't, they won't have a job anymore.
Coaches are less loyal than players. People don't understand that. They can leave whenever they want.
Fucking A.
I mean, players then kind of can now too. But like, it's just insane that we look at the current landscape of college football and we're still looking at it as if it's the 1990s or the early 2000s. It's not. I understand that it might be upsetting to you, but just understand that's the nature of the sport now and get used to it.
How many lines of cocaine did Macho Man Savage do before?
Had to be several, at least a couple.
Just from the audio, I'm gonna give it over under 5.5.
Dude.
Cream of the crop.
And I'm probably still betting the over.
Speaking of loyalty and coaches, I mean, Tom Allen, a lot of people know that name from the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, defensive coordinator at Penn State, now leaving to go to Clemson. And it's just like coaches can up and leave whenever they want. Now players can do that. Do I think there needs to be guardrails? Do I think there needs to be contracts? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
But right now there isn't. So take advantage of it. Don't be a victim. Just embrace it. Do exactly what Matt Rule is doing right now. Bring in more talent than you need and cut the guys you don't need.
The only people or the only fan bases complaining about the state of things, it's because either it's not working for them or in the future it's not going to work for them. So what we need to do is make it work for us.
Yeah.
Okay? Because nothing's changing, guys. I mean, yes, I think they're going to start putting guardrails up. But the point is that this is NFL now. It is. And so instead of complaining and like lamenting about the past and the Big Eight, oh, I love the Big Eight. Love it. It's not here anymore. So you need to make it work.
I think
And spend more.
Give him that huck to it.
Yes. With that NIL money,
still
baby.
have that drop?
So yeah, I guess.
That's good. I don't care how we get the players. If somebody from this collective has to be the Hawk Tuas. I mean, it's not going to be us, but 1890, you'll get some Hawk Tuas to get some players. I don't care.
Hey, listen, I want to win, man. I'll do whatever it takes.
I don't know if you guys saw, it was a certain reporter from On3 that was tweeting about like, oh, you know, we're in the national championship. You know, all the top 4 seeds were out almost right away. Are you happy with this? And my answer was very succinct. Yes, I'm incredibly happy.
Okay.
I think I love the thing that a lot of college football fans hate. And I love the money. I love it because now it's above board. Yeah. And I don't think in the last 2 years, we have seen more parity in college football than we have seen in the previous 3 decades. It is insane that you're seeing programs like a Boise State just right up there. Like you're seeing these teams that in the last 10 to 15 years, you wouldn't really be even concerned about making the playoff or making a BCS national championship, whatever. I love it. And you can make the argument that, you know, the 1 through 4 seeds had those 3 weeks off and that might have, you know, harmed their performance. But I love the fact that there are now a ton of competitive teams, like the top 8, very reasonable to win the national championship. We are looking at it right now. I love this.
It's kind of like March Madness a little bit.
Yep.
Where the first day you might have an upset. And you have your Cinderellas. But, you know, maybe I'm going to contradict you here. It's like once you hit the Final Four and like, maybe this is just me, but like San Diego State's in the Final Four, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like I'm not even watching because I don't even care about State. But if your boys, DOOK, Duke is in it, like technically, you know, they're a very talented team. And like I'm probably gonna be more apt to watch a Duke than I am a San Diego State. Or like who was that other Cinderella that made it?
I disagree that like
You could talk about like,
I'm a sucker
Loyola.
for a Cinderella story. Like if Boise would have continued, like I watch all the college football playoff games. So like I'm not missing. I don't care if it's San Diego State or Alabama. I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
So I think, if you say basketball, I'm not gonna watch San Diego State play basketball. I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, that's probably the thing, right?
But like football, the college football playoff, I would agree. Yeah, like I think expanding the playoff to 12 teams is the best thing they could have done for college football.
Yes,
And
agreed.
finally, when people could say, well, our team was better, we should have made the top 4, this and that. Guess what? The top 4 didn't even make it.
Yeah.
Guess what? There is no SEC teams in. So shut up, SEC.
So
like, get over it.
here's the big question that's been circulating regarding the 12-team playoff is there are some people out there asking, you know, should we expand it more? Should it be 16? And then there are some that are asking to reduce the amount of teams. I want to go around the table. What do you guys think? Should it reduce, stay the same, or get larger? I'll tell you right now, I think it should be left at 12.
I think 12 is fine.
I think 12 is a perfect number because it gives you the Cinderella stories.
At least for the
just
first
at 12, just at the beginning. and then they'll probably get weeded out. I mean, we had this conversation. I forget who it was. Maybe it was with Matt.
It was with Matt McMaster. Yeah, I said there's not going to be any Cinderellas.
Yeah, like Cinderella's making it all the way.
No,
probably not.
But at least
they got in there.
They got a seat at the dinner table.
Because Scott Frost and UCF would be begging for a 12-team playoff because they likely would have been in.
almost certainly they would have been like a 7 or an 8 seed.
100%.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind if they expanded it, but here's what needs to change, in my opinion, is instead of just that one round of home games, it needs to go into the next round too.
Yeah.
You need to have 2 rounds of home games. And yeah, the Bulls are going to be pissed. And, the Rose Bowl is going to be pissed. Well, sorry.
So I am on the same topic, but I am so diametrically opposed to what you said.
Really?
I think it should all be neutral site. All of
I love the home games.
See, I love the home games.
I
man.
love watching those teams in the South go up north. I love it.
And if you earned like a high seed, I feel like you should be rewarded with at least one home game.
And your
At
fans
least.
should be rewarded.
Yeah.
I want to get really funky. And I want, let's say I've got Ohio State, Alabama. You fuckers are playing at the Rose Bowl. I'm moving you as far away as I can. I'm going to take everything away
There's
from you.
no money in that.
It's bad for business.
I don't give a shit about business. I
Dude,
care
the
about
Rose Bowl is
football.
on fire right now.
I care about football. I want to remove any aspect. You want your crowd out. You want that atmosphere there. Buy the tickets. I want to make it about the football. I want to make it as hard as possible to have that 12th man.
Dude, it didn't matter.
That's how we're going to find
Ohio State.
I'm aware.
Neal and North,
I watched
baby.
the games.
Neal and North. It didn't matter.
They had their shirts off.
They bought all the tickets. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I think you'd be in the minority on that.
Oh, I'm
man.
certainly in the minority.
Yeah.
I might be 100%.
you might be
what
one
would
of
really
one.
suck?
I don't even have to look.
Hey.
There's 10 people in the comments calling me mean names right now.
You know what would really suck, man, is like Nebraska earns, like let's just say in a fucking fantasy land.
Well, if Nebraska does it, then yeah, it should be a home.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
And so like here
No,
comes
that's just for
Connor.
me.
Here comes a Connor
I want to go to California.
that the year before going, we should have neutral sites in Canada. Shut up.
No. I will always say rules for thee, not for me. If
Yes.
Nebraska earns
listen.
that top spot, then yes, the game's in Lincoln. But everyone else suck
Listen,
one.
yeah, if I benefit,
Yeah.
then fuck y'all.
Could you imagine, guys? Like, it's never going to happen. So don't even
Well, now you put
you'll-
it in my head.
Yeah.
So
It'll never happen. But could you imagine having a playoff game in Memorial Stadium?
Mike, you say that pretty regularly.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it'll
yeah.
never happen again.
It will never happen again.
In 50 years from now,
Not going to happen.
not going to happen. What's your reasoning?
Because when we were doing the things that we were doing, we
Steroids.
are literally like an anomaly, an outlier. Teams from where we are at have never had the success that we did. We should have never had the success we did. But
Now we're cursed.
we're cursed now. And Tom Osborne made a deal with the devil, and that's why we're never going to
Nebraska overachieved for
30 years,
no more than that.
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
And now it's just we're living in hell because of it.
I think
No,
I disagree.
I
I
think-
disagree. I disagree.
I think there's a chance that
In
They
an
make the
expanded playoff,
playoff.
there is an opportunity for
natty.
Nebraska to make the playoff. I'm talking about winning a national championship again.
Natty
And hosting a playoff game.
maybe.
That'd be tough. And I hope we get to scoop this up
Well, of
someday. And
When
you
Mike's
get to
fucking
call
80
me-
years old.
get to call me a bunch of dumb names. Cool. Like
Yeah.
I'll be just as happy as everybody else. I'll be throwing shit at myself. But like,
Literal shit.
just that's why I do love where college football is going. I know the traditionalist in me is like, God, it sucks. Like players getting paid and this and that. Newsflash, they were already getting paid. But Nebraska can play with the big boys when it comes to money.
Mm.
Like, we're not going to be the best at this, but we are going to be in the conversation with top name recruits and top name transfers because we give a shit and we have money. Now, if I was like an Iowa State fan or some small Power 4 school, I might not like it a lot because my team's not going to have the money to throw around.
Mike, you sound like you're arguing with yourself.
yeah, a little
You're
bit.
basically making the
Yeah.
case for opposite of what you just
Yeah.
said.
No,
So
I'm just saying, like, I like the position we're in, but I'm still going to stand on that saying Nebraska will never win another national championship game.
What I will tell you is, you guys ever see the show True Detective?
Indeed.
Yeah.
First season.
Time is a flat circle.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
Just like Earth.
if you
Yes, exactly.
between the Bear Bryant and Nick Saban era, Alabama was pretty middling. I mean, they had some successful years.
You didn't like Dennis Francione?
Yeah. But
What's wrong with you?
they went from the pinnacle and came way back down to earth, and then went back to the pinnacle. It happens. And you've seen this with other major programs. Nebraska is just waiting to climb that mountain. Right now, we are
here's the thing.
Sisyphus.
Here's the thing.
We are rolling that ball.
When Alabama was very, very good, they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
They're in a hotbed
Of talent, the best talent.
when Nebraska was rolling, they had to work extra hard for what they got.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, damn, it's kind of like a mystery how it all just for 40 years humming like that. It's like, Jesus. And you know what's okay? Damn it. Now it's 6:57. God, like the rare times I watch ESPN and shit, and like, this is so stupid of me.
Yes.
Just really, like, I'm fully admitting it. Like, you know how they have those commentators, those fucking talking heads, and they have all the books behind them, and it's like books about football and different coaches and different teams. I'm like, how does nobody that covers college football have any like Nebraska books? Because it's like, if you actually care about college football, and like Nebraska doesn't have your respect for what they did for 40 years, like, you don't know ball and you're a fucking idiot. Like college football people that are supposed to be impartial, like they have all these different books, like Penn State, Joe Paterno, and Florida State and Bobby, right? It's like, where's your Nebraska book? I'm sorry, like the way Nebraska did it for 40 years is way more impressive than how Joe Pa did it and fucking Florida State did it. You know what I mean? Just a stupid thing that I'm hung up on.
I think if you
Let it out.
If you look,
Let it out.
if you look in the background, a lot of the Penn State books are actually just court logs.
Oh my God. All right, leave that there.
Yeah. No, hold on. But if you look, do you guys watch the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So AJ Hawk, if you watch him,
Just the most worthless motherfucker I've ever seen.
if you watch him not talk on the Pat McAfee show, if you look in the background on the plastic tarp of books he has behind him, because it's very clearly not real books. There is a Nebraska end back there. You have to look real hard, but those aren't real books.
there really is.
He
Yeah.
can't read.
But no, dude, it's a
So the
plastic tarp.
dumbest motherfucker on air has one.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm not shitting
The
you.
most CTE riddled motherfucker has a Nebraska book. Cool.
I'm not shitting you because at the brewery every morning before the brewery opens up, we have the Pat McAfee show on, just because it's on ESPN
Sure.
at the time.
You shouldn't apologize. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I enjoy Pat McAfee.
It's okay.
I don't mind
It's fine.
To this day, I swear to God, I watch the Pat McAfee show every day. I still don't know what AJ Hawk's voice sounds like.
I know what his dumb face looks like.
I know he looks like an Easter Island head, but I've never heard his voice. He just he does this.
An Easter Island head has talked more than that motherfucker has.
Okay. Going
We're
back
spiraling.
AJ
spiraling.
Hawk has a harder head than an Easter Island head does.
Yeah.
His skull is anyway.
going back to the importance.
What
of
are we going
Nebraska.
back to?
No, just the importance of Nebraska, and they are a blue blood. Like, did you see the tweets going back and forth between me and this Iowa State fan base? Like, they're talking all this crap, and I literally am like, dude, we beat you 86 times.
Yeah,
86
but
times.
we were a basement dweller.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you are literally. They're like, we were a Make-A-Wish program. I'm like, you still are.
You know,
The definition now. We're actually granting you your Disney trip right now. Like, shut up.
Yeah, I look. Anyone that says that Nebraska's not a blue blood is, and look, you can go, yeah, they suck lately.
Yes.
And what they've done for the past 20 years, kind of like, but like Penn State, you know, I had that on my talking points. Penn State lost, and like, I'm like, kind of good, because like people still want to think that Penn State's a blue blood. I'm like, they're not a fucking blue blood. Fuck you.
Isn't James Franklin like 1-14 against top 15 teams?
Well, you know,
Yeah, his record in big games is really bad.
Atrocious.
I mean, it's ultimately like Nebraska's equivalent of Bo Pelini.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's to the point where like I go on Winsipedia and like Penn State is like right below Nebraska in wins, and I'm like, quit fucking winning, because I don't want you to catch up to us.
Well, and we need to start winning. Like, I think
Yeah,
that's the only way to
I
fix
know.
that. Is I don't care how many times they win.
Yeah.
We just got to keep winning. Like, we have to start winning again, I guess, is the way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not enough that we should win. Everyone else should lose.
I would like that.
That everyone else in the country should lose and Nebraska should win. That's just how the game should
I like
go.
that.
My argument to the original point, which was Nebraska was not going to ever win another national championship.
here we go.
We really
back.
spiraled.
We're back. Is as I'm watching these Cinderella stories that
Arizona State Iowa
regularly
State. Yeah.
would not have any business even sniffing the college football playoffs. The Blue Bloods will be fine. Like if Boise State and Arizona State, if those guys are able to like start working their way towards that, all the Blue Bloods will be just fine. Like everybody will start getting back into the conversation. You're going to have years. Clemson had a stretch that they were really good. They were playing in championships. Like you look at these teams where they just kind of have these little sputters in excellence. Nebraska is going to be fine.
So basically, what you're saying is
they're going to win another national championship. I'm talking in 50 years from now, there's no way I can confidently sit here and say that Nebraska will not win another championship.
a natty.
A
sixth.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, yeah, when I see Arizona State and I see Iowa State winning 10 games, I'm like, fuck, why can't I do that? It makes me more depressed.
They play
in the Big 12.
Yeah, they play in a freaking G5 conference. That's why.
Yeah.
They have an
They don't
easy
play
road.
in the Big 2.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, but 1 year. Can we have one?
We might. We will.
We might win.
We might. I mean, we follow that Matt Rule trajectory and what he's done.
Oh,
he so far has followed it. Year 1, year 2, year 3 is supposed to be the big jump. And right now, hopefully, we're setting the table to the big jump in year 3
with the fucking cake on it,
with cutting players. Bring them in. If you're not good, you're gone.
Yeah, I see.
No loyalty. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, I see. All due respect to Tommy Hill, he got injured. I get it. Okay, we get it. But I see the Illinois player score on him for the first play of the game. Basically, the first play
happened in 3 games. The first touchdown against 3 opponents came against Tommy Hill.
And so my point is you got to have some fucking good players behind him. Okay? We got to have depth. That's the thing we've been lacking. Tommy Hill has to play because the guys behind him might not be that good. So we need to bring dudes in. And like Mike said, fucking cut the rest of you. You go. You go. Go and get it.
Cut him.
Cut him.
You're talking metaphorically, yeah?
Don't care.
Are we?
You gone.
Matt Rule has a butterfly knife on the sideline.
Oh, no.
You missed that tackle, buddy.
It's cut day.
Do you like your pinkies?
This episode has gone off the rails on a couple occasions. I like
Not the gumdrop buttons.
Stupid.
All right. Let's go.
Where do we go from here? Are we good?
We're good.
We're good.
One thing really quick. This is very hit it and quit it. Preseason baseball rankings. Huskers number 24.
Shout out.
32 days until first pitch, February 14th.
I think I'm in the majority. That ranking should not come out in any sport until they play a couple games. But
yeah, but now that Nebraska's in the top 25, I like it.
Then yes,
it benefits me.
Yeah, no, it's cool now.
Yeah.
But if they weren't, then
the previous
gross.
fucking 10 years, I would have hated it.
Yeah, exactly. But right now, I love it.
Any comments before we head out? Anything cool? Anything worth? Did BA give us more money? Come on, BA, more.
No.
BA.
Let's see. No, a lot of it was during our basketball talk.
Okay.
How
many viewers we got?
There's 128. We sat at we were right around the 68-70 mark for a while.
Then and
then we started talking about
you
got the cake or something.
Yeah. It got good once the cake got involved.
Yeah, 100%.
They saw that
Cake,
knife work from me, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Oh man.
Gordon Ramsay complimented me once.
So just a reminder. Oh, on the cake cutting.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he would compliment you on that crap cut.
Oh no, he just told me he liked my shirt. It wasn't anything about food.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's not true. I've never met.
Are you showing the cake?
Gordon Ramsay, if you do want to come on the show, you are always welcome.
We got to put that cover on there. I could see it getting a little crusty.
It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine. Connor will be eating cake for the next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, next week we are not doing an episode, but the following week we have a guest who is to be named right now.
And it's not Nick Handley.
It won't be Nick Handley, unfortunately.
Hanley does want to reschedule as soon as he can. It's unfortunate he couldn't be here tonight. Nick, thanks for the cake. We're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, thank you too.
Wait,
I mean, you spent like what, $50 on it?
oh, dude, it was at least 200.
Jesus.
Yeah, Nick, if you need
Where'd you
it,
get that
I can text you my Venmo.
Oh, our next episode is with. Oh, wait, no, I guess we don't have another guest. The next one, but we do have BA coming on February 3rd.
There
So
we go.
BA will be in the NBNR studios.
So unfortunately for you guys, on the 27th, it's just us again. And
Well,
you're
it
gonna
could
be-
it could be Hanley if he wants to sneak in. There.
Yeah, actually, I'll text him tonight.
Yeah, talking about cutting players again.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely metaphorically. Definitely metaphorically.
mostly metaphorical.
Yeah, not their Achilles.
So cool.
Not good. Okay. NBNRpodcast.com. People watching us, go follow us on, X. TikTok, I guess. I don't know. What's happening with that?
For like another 8 days.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe more. I don't know.
Like, we'll still use it. We can still use it.
yeah, I
for
think,
now.
Yeah, I think
All right.
so.
For now. We'll just have to use the next thing.
like the one thing.
There'll be another one.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Nixon.
there'll be another Vine, another TikTok, another FickFock, another fucking.
You guys want to start our own platform?
We could.
Do you guys know how to code? I don't.
No.
Shit.
Yeah, we have to revolutionize this. We have to be the ones that are.
I
That's not
guarantee you
gonna
there's
happen.
already like 7 in the waiting.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Spotify, we're on there. Give us a 5-star review, please. Come on. I think we're at 100 reviews. We're at like 5 stars with 100 reviews, guys.
Hey, where are we at on YouTube? Are we close to Mike getting a tattoo?
Are we at 900?
We are at 900 even. Finally, it took us
Really?
a minute to get past the like 890 mark.
No.
So we're at 900 even right now.
Remember, at 1,000 subscribers, Mike is getting a face tat.
Right.
1K.
Yeah, for sure.
5 teardrops, 1 each for a natty that
Well-
Nebraska's won, and then a 6th when it happens again eventually.
Within the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite the buffer zone. I want to be alive. So
The other 5 are going to be all just wrinkled and smeared because you're going to be old, Mike.
I'm
Old.
dead in 50 years.
Dead. Okay. I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Connor Cadillac.
Kyle Byers.
As always, beat Rutgers because you have to.
Have to.
Fucking have to win. In GBR.